Welcome to another episode of Five Lemons Laughing. I'm Amanda, and I'm here with Morgan, Melissa, and Penny, and we're sending love to Drusilla. She is out doing life today.
Yeah.
And so we miss her, and we're sending her love. Today, we're talking about something incredibly normal. That moment when you realize you don't need someone else to fix anything. And you don't want anybody to fix anything. You just want to be heard. You don't want to be corrected. You don't want to be improved upon. And for the love of Jesus, don't give me advice I didn't ask for. At the end of the day, I just want to be heard.
Mm. Wow. That's a big topic, though.
I know.
Oh my gosh, I'm laughing because it's probably I'm a little uncomfortable. Maybe. Yeah, I've heard it often on spiritual paths that um, uh, everybody just wants to be seen, wants to be heard, wants to be acknowledged or validated. I'm sorry. I'm recovering from a cold that came to visit me. And right now it appears that my voice decided that I shouldn't be talking right now, but I'm okay. Yeah. So a lot of times we think that when somebody is making up or not making up, when somebody's like really wanting to be seen and heard, we think that it's like a bad thing. But I recently had an experience in our neighborhood that really made me aware of how our soul is really just longing to be acknowledged, longing to be seen, longing to be heard. And I was recently at a community meeting, and it took us almost 2 hours to get to that point where we could, and it wasn't all of us, I'll have to tell you. It was actually one person in a crowd of about 40 neighbors that actually acknowledged the person that was having the issue with the rest of the neighbors and really came from a heart-centered place, letting the person know that she was heard and she was seen, and that this person wanted to make sure that she was okay. And it changed everything. It changed everything. It was
Let me go
really
back
powerful.
just a little bit, Penny, for
Sure.
anybody
Oh,
for anybody
gosh.
who's listening. We did hint at this last
Yeah.
week on our episode when we had Adam on the show.
Mhm.
Would you care to give a little bit of the backstory?
Yes, I'd be happy to, Morgan. Thank you. Sometimes I just jump to the next step without bringing everybody else along with me. So this is good. Yeah, so I live in a community where we have a private road company and a private water company, and we are all the neighbors are all the members. And so we have annual meetings, and we vote in boards to manage both of these organizations, and they're our trusted servants. And our road needed fixing, and it was quite expensive. So there was a special assessment, and most everybody paid. One person had a bit of a problem with how things were being managed and has not paid, and decided to, after much discussion with the board, has decided to sue all of us. And so we had a community meeting on Tuesday to talk about it, because we realized there was a lot of emails going back and forth, a lot of accusations, and there's a lot of hate going back and forth from all parties. And I have to be honest, I've had a lot of judgmental feelings and thoughts about what's been going on. It's a long story, the lessons that I'm working on today is I see only the past. And in A Course in Miracles, all of our judgments, all of our feelings and thoughts typically come from past events. And it's not anything that has just occurred in the present moment, because that's the only moment where God meets us, is right now, this very second, this very moment. And so I realized that I'm operating from the past, and I think many of the other neighbors are too, but I can't. Well, just based on my experience, I can say that, I guess. Anyway, so I was going to go into the meeting spewing love, because I knew that's what was needed. right? I knew that love was what was needed in this. And it was hard for me myself to stay in my loving heart, honestly. And so the meeting happened, and I'm going to give myself a pat on the back. I was able to, as the meeting was going on, to start doing the Ho'oponopono prayer. I was saying,
Nice.
I love, and I was looking directly at the person who was bringing the suit against the association. And I was just saying, I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. And she looked at me a whole lot. So I don't know if I don't know. I haven't sorted that out. But anyway, so yeah, so that's what it was all about. So the meeting went on, and I was going in with my loving heart. I really wanted to. And I have to tell you, there was one point where one of the neighbors was just yelling at the top of his lungs at this other neighbor to sit down and stop talking. Oh my God, talk about PTSD. I mean,
Yeah.
how many people, I mean, of the listeners and Morgan, Amanda, and Melissa, I don't know if any of you had ever had the experience growing up, but when somebody was really mad and right before the punishment came, but there was a lot of yelling and a lot of chaos. And it was like, oh my God. And so I finally had to stand up. And my husband said I was yelling as well. But I think I was yelling to get above the noise, to get the people to calm down. And I'm still trying to sort that out. But I was telling this other neighbor, stop yelling. It doesn't make people feel safe when there's all this yelling and accusations being thrown back and forth. Let's just listen to each other, reason things out. And so eventually we got there. And I mean, I played my role to be kind of a little bit of a shithead too. And I acknowledge that. And I'll work on my amends that I need to make to myself and to anybody else if there is. But I was able to stay in my loving heart for part of the meeting. And I guess that's the point. That's the whole point. So, and the whole meeting, it lasted almost 2 hours, but the apex of the meeting was when, and it just happened to be my daughter, Samantha, when she actually said to the person, I see you, I hear you, and I'm concerned for you. And that just changed everything. Everything changed, even though it was the end of the meeting. But she said that she would talk to my daughter offline. And so that hasn't happened yet, but I'm confident it will. And, we asked, some of the members asked if what she needed to drop the lawsuit. And she wasn't willing to, she felt a lot of pressure. I mean, I can't imagine. Well, I can't imagine. I've been in the situation where I felt that everybody was against me and I was the only one there to defend myself. And I know from A Course in Miracles, in my defenselessness, my safety lies. So I know what it feels like. I've been there. And so too bad I didn't think about that before the meeting. But hey, we get it when we get it, right? So anyway, so the whole point of this episode is just to talk about, what it's like to want to be seen and heard. And when the people around you aren't willing to do that for you, and how it feels once that happens. And so, anyway, so I'm just curious what others have to think about that. Amanda, Morgan.
I have a question.
Melissa.
What did your daughter say exactly to this woman? Because I think that's very important to this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And then what did the other person say exactly, or the best of your recollection?
Yeah. So what Samantha said was, I hear what you're saying and I can see you're in pain.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm concerned about you. You don't look well, is what she said. I'm really concerned about you. And I think that's the, I wish I would have come home and written it down now. But my daughter, she's really good we call her the relationship coach at our office. Like when two people are having a conflict, we say, Samantha, get them in a room and sit them down and have them talk it out. And so, I mean, it would have been great if we could have had that happen at the meeting where she could have facilitated it, but there was too many other personalities. It has to be one-on-one. And then what the other person said, I could just see her soften. And she said, thank you. you're the first person that has acknowledged that I might also be in some pain. I mean, she just said, thank you. Could just see her soften and the defensiveness going down. And she really just appreciated it. She said, thank you. Thank you for seeing me. It's that's the best I can say. I hope that helps. Well, yeah.
Yeah. And I asked that because Penny and I, when we were planning this, we went through the whole story, and that was just such a powerful moment. That's where the episode came from. So I didn't want to miss those words.
Did I capture it, what I told you yesterday?
You did. You
okay,
captured it perfectly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. What are your thoughts, Morgan and Melissa?
Well, it just gives me a lot of compassion for that woman. I mean, I'm not in any way taking sides because I don't know anything about the situation, but regardless of who is right and who is wrong, if there even is a right or a wrong, like how frightening and activating it must have been for her to feel like it's me against the world.
Yeah. I mean, I just last night while I was going to bed and, just contemplating my whole day, I started to feel the compassion for her as well. Yeah. I pray it makes a difference, that maybe others, their hearts are softening too, and we can reason it out.
Well, I'm on your side, Penny.
What does that mean?
I'm kidding. But I do think last week we talked a lot about bringing love. And I think that's exactly what you brought. It might have been through your daughter.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Right. But that is such a great example of that is what the pivot was from. A loving heart towards this woman.
Yeah.
And wanting to see her, because I think you're right. Just like the opening, that is a lot of our problem. When we just want to be seen or heard and we're not, and then we get into a story about that. It's usually the I'm not good enough story, but I think it happens for most people every day. And I think that it goes back to, Penny, what you talk about, the source fracture. Like, if you think about little kids, that's all they're doing. That's how they're engaging with the world is like doing something and how is that received? Doing something and how is it received? And, to get help when you're an infant, you're screaming, right? You're crying. And so it has to be completely hooked into your whole central nervous system. It has to be part of the whole thing. And so I think for most humans, that's what they're doing all day long is, I just want to be seen. I just want to be heard. And oftentimes we don't allow that from other people. And I think that's your daughter showed exactly how to be loving to someone who needed that.
Yeah, it was powerful. Yeah, really powerful. In what you were saying too, Melissa, it's so easy to fall into the victimhood of life. I think we're all in a society that I'm the victim of this, the victim of that. And this person was playing that role pretty powerfully. And so so if we can just see beyond that, and like you said, I need to just start looking at people as if they're little 5-year-olds, precious little 3 to 5-year-olds. I mean, who would get mad at a little 3-year-old for spilling milk? Hopefully no one, And so it's okay to spill a little milk. We just, it's kind of where I'm coming from now too.
I think that whole I need to be seen, need to be heard is the basis of a lot of my problems in life. Like up till now, it was I have had it with my husband. He could literally be doing something else and listening to me. And if I don't get the reaction that I would like, because I'm talking and I would like a reaction, then I get angry. And definitely seen, definitely like seen for everything I think I am. And I've definitely had the victim, look at me because it's so sad.
You don't see me.
Yeah.
Yeah. The situation reminds me of Amanda's story at the restaurant. I mean, it's the same story on a grander scale. I mean, someone's food comes out wrong or comes out late or comes out with a hair in it, and it can be quickly and easily dissolved 99% of the time with a simple acknowledgement, or it can just as quickly and easily escalate to a much larger issue if that acknowledgement and whatever is not received.
You know what though, Morgan, what just popped into my head as you were saying that, both parties have to be willing though.
Yeah.
They have to be willing.
Penny, I don't think that's true.
Okay. Tell me why. Tell me why.
Not to jump on you, but
tell me why. I want to prove me wrong.
Because it just takes one person to change the vibration, right?
You're right.
Thank you. I feel seen. Because it was your daughter is the one that stood up, right? The other participant was not, right? She was like, it felt like a roadblock. She was not participating in this until your daughter said, I see you, I hear you, I'm concerned about you. And that's when the other person could soften. So I do think it only takes one person to alter the situation. And like when Morgan was saying, when I worked at a restaurant, just when someone is getting all up in their stuff, it's the same thing. I'm sorry, right? Your pizza's burnt. Can I get you another one? Would you like a beer while you're waiting? So I think it just takes one person. Now, I will acknowledge, like if someone is like really in their stuff, it may not, you may not see it with your eyes, the shift.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point. We get attached to an expectation of how it's going to unfold in the outer world when we're doing the inner work. And that does happen a lot of the time, but it's not like a guarantee.
And I think one thing also is, I don't know about you guys, but I have been in the middle of something and been all up in my feels and not let anything in. But later on, I'm processing it. And then like, I could hear words that are different. Like, like I start to like, oh, that person did say something. I just couldn't hear it at that time. So, I think just to allow time and space, like you don't know how that you affect someone, maybe right in the moment.
Right. That's true.
Yeah. Thank you, Amanda.
Yeah.
This
is all reminding me of a story that I'm reading All the Way to the River right now by Elizabeth Gilbert. And there's a story in there about this funeral that she and her friend attend, and everyone in the family is terrified that the drug addicted grandson is going to show up, and they have kept the location and day and time of the funeral a secret so that he wouldn't show up. He finds out and he shows up, and of course he's raging and angry and causing the scene that they were afraid of. And her friend goes up to him and touches him on the heart and says, "How you doing in there, buddy?" And he just like has a moment of kind of crumpling. And then something in him pushes that all away and he goes back into his rage. But she goes around and tells everybody to lock their cars and hold on to their keys and, just don't make a scene. And then the rest of the day unfolds without incident. And it's like he had that moment of acknowledgement that he had the right to be there to celebrate the life of his grandparent and that his feelings mattered too. And someone for just a moment didn't just see him as the, angry, drug addicted fuck up. And later, Elizabeth asks her friend, like, why did you do that for the family? And she said, I didn't do it for the family. I did it for him. He did. The last thing he needs is to have the weight of having, stolen from his family members at his grandmother's funeral, as another reason to hate himself for the rest of his life. And I don't know, it's just such a great story. And it's a perfect example of what you just said too, Amanda, about sometimes we don't see the results we might expect, which is why it's important not to have expectations when we're doing this spiritual work. But there was a glimpse of it, but he still, went back to his behavior or his personality or whatever, after a moment of, succumbing to the love that he was receiving in that moment.
That's a beautiful story.
I hope I did it justice.
You did.
It's hard to retell other people's stories.
Amanda, Morgan, I was thinking about the outcome as well. And I was thinking if in that group, Penny, were you attached to an outcome?
I'd like her to drop the lawsuit. Yeah. But you know what? I have to tell you one other thing interesting. The president of the association came up to me before the meeting. She said, Penny, whenever I need support, I'm looking at you. Several people were looking to me to be the calming person in the room. And so I thought that was really cool that I have been able to show up that way for the community. I know that. Yeah. So
do you think it was harder? Do you think it was harder to see her?
It was.
With an outcome in mind?
Well, okay. So there's some baggage that comes into play.
The past.
From the past. Yes. The past. Yeah. And so I guess I haven't healed from that completely. I guess that's the outcome that I want it to be different. And even though I know so there was a situation, I made my amends to her and she didn't accept them. And she doesn't want to have anything to do with me. And she's told that she won't come to our house, anything. And so I guess that still kind of bothers me because I want everybody to like me. I want to be like the good neighbor that people always want to come to our place. I guess that's an outcome that I want to. That's an attachment I have. And that's where I need to just let it go. I did my part to the best of my ability at that time. And there could be more in the future. But right now, I feel like I'm complete. Except I wanted it to be different. I wanted her to go,
yeah.
Oh, Penny, thank you. Oh,
You wanted the enemies to friends storyline.
Yeah, because we were friends before. And
I see that in you, Penny. I see that that's probably really hurtful, painful. And you are a person that brings people together and you are a happy person and you do love having your people around you. And it must be very difficult.
Yeah.
You're doing the thing to Penny.
Especially as a neighbor. Like really close in your like someone you see probably almost every day or once a week at least.
Yeah.
Or not. Yep.
Yeah.
But
she lives way at the top of the hill. I rarely see her. But yeah.
So how does it feel to feel heard and seen and understood, Penny?
It feels really nice. Thank you, Melissa. That was really great modeling. And that was so simple and easy to do, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, and I honestly did it. And I really feel that way, Penny. I feel that you are such a light in my life and such a light. I know I've seen your pictures of your people at your home and you have your children living with you, your daughter and son-in-law. And I know that's important to you. And I know it's important to you to be liked. We all have that.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Melissa.
I can't imagine anyone not liking you. I honestly can't.
I don't know. I have my moments too, you guys. Please knock me off that pedestal. I'm stepping back off. Yeah.
That's so interesting. Can anyone think of another example where either you didn't take the time to actually see someone, or there's something in you that needs to be seen?
Well, I know that when, I've been connected at the hip with my husband for like the last year. We
Mhm.
travel together, live together, do everything together. And sometimes there are things that are just driving me crazy about him. And I'm bringing the past in. I'm bringing like, oh, he drives me crazy when he X, Y, and Z's, like that kind of thing. But I have actually this whole experience of being away. I have a whole new level of respect for how loving and kind he is. I mean, I just have he's like just one of the kindest people I know. And my sons say the same thing. And I don't think I would have said this like a year ago, even though he hasn't changed. I have changed. So when I want to not listen to him and cut him down and be short with him because I'm like over it, uh, I have been paying more attention to that. So seeing him, acknowledging him, letting him talk, that kind of thing. And that has changed a lot.
That's so interesting. And you said it, so you actually listening to your husband and trying not to judge in your mind, right? Just to give him, has that shifted your relationship?
Yes. Yes. We're and we're definitely like friendlier. And I know that sounds weird for a marriage, but when you're like just doing everything in life with someone, and we had many years where he was out of the house working and I was in the house. And so I took on a ton of responsibility, which was my choice. But I was very, very resentful about it. And so that's all gone. A lot of that is in the past, right? And so, and I haven't brought it with me. But I do see these new things. Well, I've had to work through it a lot. So I have new revelations. I'm seeing him differently.
It's like you've slowed down enough to see him.
Yes. Oh, I slowed down enough to appreciate much of the stuff that he's always been. He's always been this way.
Yeah.
But yes, Penny, I think I've been in high gear. So I've slowed down enough. And there is something about the stress of all the responsibility of life. And Penny, the outcomes and the expectations that I had for us or for our home or for our kids or for just making it through the day. And that not always ending up the way the expectations that I had. And then he was the closest person for me to blame or resent for it or, just even, whatever, give him all the responsibility for it. So it's been a lot.
I think blame was the best word. Yeah.
I can honestly feel a shift in your relationship just in the way that you speak about it and speak about him over the past few months compared to maybe a year ago or 2 years ago. Like it definitely feels energetically different and cleaner.
Yes.
And yeah.
Yeah. Friendlier.
Melissa, friendlier.
And I am allowing myself to see him. Because I am
looking for that confirmation instead of the confirmation of the other.
Yes. And I have dropped so much of the resentment and so much of the, just the day-to-day marriage stuff. They ruffled feathers or the resentment and all that. So it is, yes. Thank you, Morgan, for acknowledging that. It feels that way in our marriage.
Yeah. Because there's no micro resentments. there's resentment and there's not resentment.
Yeah.
True.
Oh, what do you mean by that, Morgan?
Well, what does it say in A Course in Miracles? There are no small upsets. It's like we can delude ourselves to thinking, oh, my husband chafes me a little bit, but beneath that is the same amount of rage and contempt that you would hold if it was a bigger issue at play. It's just masked. Maybe it's masked or held down below the surface more. So,
and I would like to, I think why I brought that up was that I was holding back on seeing him and hearing him.
mm-hmm.
That was my punishment for him.
Yeah.
Ooh, way to go deep.
Yeah.
Truth.
Yeah.
I'm just contemplating that was your punishment to him by all this, because he was absent all those times that you were at home managing everything. Yeah. Or whatever.
He didn't listen to me, or I was trying to tell him something. He didn't listen, or I wanted to be seen and he didn't see me.
Wow. So what this whole part of the conversation is opening up for me. So we jump to a lawsuit to punish people, right?
Mm-hmm.
We jump to never going back to a restaurant because the pizza was burnt because we're going to punish them.
Or leaving a bad review on Yelp.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we punish the people in our lives for not seeing us, which is, I mean, when you think about that loop, like my husband is not seeing me, so I'm going to punish him by not seeing him. And it can only spiral into no bueno territory. It can, right?
Totally. So two people not acknowledging each other, that's a lot of marriages.
Yeah.
That's a lot of life, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it takes, because think about acknowledging someone that you're really angry with, or that you're resentful for,
or don't agree with.
Yeah. It takes a lot. It's a dig down deep and accept exactly who they are, what's going on, letting go of all the story you've made. And just acknowledging that your story wasn't right, or it could be not right, is huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it takes someone to go first. Like, are you willing to actually pause and see this other person, no matter who they are, right? Your husband, your wife, your friend, your colleague. Are you willing to be the one that stops that cycle of hurt?
And Michael Singer talks about the justifications. We can keep punishing someone when we justify it to ourselves that they deserve it and I should do this because they weren't seeing me. Like, essentially, I'm going to pull the love away because I felt unloved.
Yeah.
This will show them.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. It does show them. You teach by what you do. So you're just amplifying the very thing that you would like to experience less of.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so let's go back to, how do you break that cycle?
Well, I can share an example in my life that came up is, and it's been a recurring one in my relationship with my husband, but I think every time it comes up again, I get it on a deeper level. But, we both can be a bit temperamental. We're both fire signs. And sometimes I judge the way he reacts to situations as being a little over the top. Like, even if his anger is not directed at me, how it can be to be in a room with someone who is unleashing their anger. It can kind of be a PTSD response. It can be activating. And so there's definitely a part of me that in the past has been very resistant to that anger, and what you resist persists, and actually it amplifies the very thing that you're resisting. And it's really the opposite of acceptance. It's on an energetic subconscious level. It's you're making the other person feel that their emotional response to something is invalid or wrong, or somehow makes them not okay, or means that they're getting it wrong. Like, that's exactly what I convey to my husband when I am like, that is a completely irrational, over the top response. That is just diminishing him. And so there have been a couple of examples this week, or over the past couple of weeks, where something honestly frustrating has occurred, and he has been angry about it. And I have completely let his anger be okay, because it is okay. It is okay. Yeah. And not taken it as a personal affront, like held my energy field intact, not let it affect me, and just hold compassion and love for him. And it's like watching a toddler have a little temper tantrum. When you allow it, it doesn't persist. When you resist it, it persists. When you allow it, it runs its course. And then a few minutes later, he apologized one of the times. And I was like, you don't have anything to be sorry for. So that's one example of how I don't remember your question now.
How we break the cycle.
The cycle. And so just allowing it is your version of just seeing him as not being wrong. So you didn't say those words, but that was I see you, I hear you, I don't need to change you. I'm just allowing it. And I like the way that you had your own personal boundaries. Again, it's not anything verbalized, but you didn't take it personally. So that was you seeing him for what he is, and you seeing yourself for what you are, and just allowing it to be.
Yeah.
And that's a powerful process. I've been married for 34 years. Is that it? Yeah, I think that's it. No, yeah, that's it. And I frequently took my husband's anger on. Like I had to like any emotion he was having, I thought I had to solve it all. And so I think since we've been doing our podcast, and since we met in Masterful Living with Jennifer Hadley, I've learned that I don't have to take any of his stuff on. It's his stuff. Let him have it. Let him work through his stuff. I don't have to work through it for him. And that's what I'm hearing you say, Morgan, is you just let him be. And what do they say? Emotions take about 90 seconds to work through us if we just let them. But too often we want to stop it or change it up.
Right.
Or we take it personally.
Yeah. There's a difference. Also, I'll just throw this out there. There's a difference between someone having an angry reaction to a situation and someone being in a bad mood and doing taking it out on everybody around them. That's two different things. So, at a certain point, I think it would be an interesting and helpful conversation on a future episode to talk about the difference between consequences, boundaries, and punishment. Because we talked about punishment earlier on this episode, and like when Melissa was sharing her story and tied it to the woman carrying the lawsuit as a form of punishment. But then where do consequences and personal boundaries come into play? So I think that would maybe be a helpful conversation for me.
Sounds like maybe our next episode.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah. Thank you, Morgan.
Thank you, Morgan.
Yeah.
I know that my situation has been changing because I'm becoming more responsible for myself and depending less on him for my worthiness and to feel okay.
Wow.
So it's like I let him off the hook, and I get the benefits.
I like that.
I do too. I think it's important because it brings up another question that I was going to ask, and I don't know if I need to now, but what if you don't find what you're seeking for outside of yourself? What if you don't get that validation? What if you in the world of form, you don't get that reflection of feeling heard, seen? And I think you just kind of answered that, Melissa. It is an inside job.
It is.
Yeah.
It is an inside job. And as we live and grow, like I could just, like when you tell that story, Penny, when your daughter stood up and said that and really changed the other person. I mean, it's just amazing that one person can be that catalyst for another person.
Yeah.
Like you could switch someone's whole vibration by just seeing them, hearing them, allowing them, not needing to try to change or shift somebody else, but just give them the space to do it.
Authentically.
Authentic. Yes, authentic.
Yeah. It had to be authentic. Yeah. Yeah. It's powerful stuff. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
Just think of the world. If we could
it's
all
hard to do when you're in your drama.
Yeah.
You're convinced you have the right outcome in mind and it's your drama. And to shift right away out of that and shift into like, actually, I'm very concerned for you and I see you and hear you. That's humongous. That's a huge shift. Like, it's like when I grow up, I want to be Samantha.
Me too.
Daughter.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty powerful stuff.
That is master level.
Yeah. Yeah. And it brings up for me that like one of my taglines or catchphrases for my personality is, why would you do that? And it's, if there's nothing is true, there's no reasons in truth. Like needing to know why is all based in ego. But I like the shift that Allison Armstrong presents in, what book is it, Amanda? The Queen's Code?
The Queen's Code.
Yeah. There must be a good reason for that. Like what a gentle, subtle shift. Instead of, why would you do that? To, there must be a good reason for that, even if I don't know what it is.
I like that.
Yeah.
I've got that book. I haven't read it yet.
Oh, it is a gold mine. It is. It's about the Queen's Code is about men and women are different. We're different. Masculinity, that whole thing has its own thing, and femininity has its own thing. And it is really about accepting the roles of male and or masculine and feminine and accepting them.
Yeah. And I think it plays right into this conversation because really the whole crux of the book is that we've been spending our lives trying to understand the other gender through the lens of our gender. And that's what we do with people. We try to understand other people and why they're doing what they're doing through a lens of like the idealized perfect version of ourself, who even we can't live up to. How is this other person supposed to live up to the idealized highest and best version of ourself if we can't even live up to that?
Yep.
Wow. This is like opening up a whole nother conversation.
Right.
Wow. Yeah, that's so interesting. You know, most of the people that were really yelling loudly at the meeting were men at women.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Very fascinating. Wow. It just, we probably need to do an episode on the Queen's Code too. Wow. This is good. Really good.
Thanks for sharing your story, Penny.
Yeah. Well, and thanks for, so happy that we had Adam on last week and that he's all about love and it helped me. And seriously, what I'm so proud of is that I remembered.
Yeah.
How often do we go into these situations with an idea and then we frickin' forget it all when we walk into the room because I don't know why. But the stuff just overwhelms us or overwhelms me. I should talk for myself. Wow. So I've got a few Post-its if you guys feel complete.
Yeah.
Okay. The first one is, I love it. It just takes one person to change the situation. I stand corrected, Amanda. It does take one, even though I still think everybody has to be willing. Okay. But they don't actually. I think it takes the one person to help the other person become willing. Potentially, maybe not. And then I'm going to, I wished I would have walked up to a couple of the guys in the meeting and said, hey, tapped them on their heart and said, "How you doing in there, buddy?"
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
that was really powerful. And then just to say, I see you, I hear you, I love you. I mean, Samantha did use the word love in her short little conversation with the other person, and that was really beautiful. And then I love, there must be a good reason for that. Yeah, that was really a good one. Yeah, and then let's just let everybody off the hook, okay? Nobody has to be on the hook. Do you like my artwork?
Yes. Fish hook. Love it.
Yeah. So if today's conversation stirred something in you, it's completely natural to be stirred by some of these conversations. That's the whole human experience we're living in. And it is the desire to be heard. We human beings want to be seen. We want to be heard. We want to be acknowledged and validated. And so maybe we can just go out there and do that for others this week. Yeah. And then as we can continue to practice our words for this year, acceptance, love, and surrender, maybe one of the most meaningful things we can offer to each other is simply our presence.
Mm.
Just pause and just send love to each other. It's that simple. It really is that simple. So next week, we'll have another riveting conversation, I'm sure, based on this one. And so thank you so much for joining us today. And remember, your transformation is our greatest joy. So keep coming back because we love you and we look forward to hearing about how everything's going for you as well. Thanks so much for listening.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.